We rebuild Hammond B3 organs and Leslie speakers. And with the unwanted Hammond organs of the world that end up in trash bins and landfills, we make boutique guitar amps, MIDI controllers, and speaker cabinets. 3 years ago, I scavenged up some parts around the shop that I had lying around, left over from other projects and from other collections of things that I had, and I decided to make my own guitar amp. I used a case from a piece of scientific equipment that I had. I used for a faceplate a sign that said ladies restroom, a little tin sign from the 50s. And for an amp, I used a reverb amp out of a Hammond organ that I had sitting around. And I put it together, and it all just sort of fit. The amp was just the right size, the faceplate just happened to sit right in there, and I messed with the circuit a little bit, drew something out, put it together, and fired it up, and actually sounded pretty good. And I showed it to the other guys around the shop, and they said, wow, that actually sounds like you did that on purpose. And next thing you know, I decided that turned out all right, and maybe I'll build a second one. So I built a second one, and Thanksgiving was coming up, and we were taking a family trip to Nashville to visit my in-laws. And I thought, you know, just for grins and giggles, I've got some positive feedback here in town. I'm going to take it to Nashville and see if anyone's interested. Called up these shops on the phone, and they said, we're really not interested in more boutique amps, but if you really want to stop by, you can, but we probably won't have time for you, so don't be offended if we don't look at your amp. And I said, well, and one store flat out told me, absolutely do not come. I think they're one of our dealers now, by the way. They said, don't even come. We are way too busy. We don't have time for that. I mustered up my courage and went to a store, and I showed it to him, and the guy liked it and said, I want to be a dealer. I didn't even really know what that meant, but I said, okay. Went to the second place I had set up with, and he also said, wow, I really like that. I want to be a dealer. And I came back from Thanksgiving and said, guys, I don't know exactly what just happened, but we got ourselves a couple of dealers in Nashville, and now we're going to have to learn how to really make these things. And so that's really what started the whole process of us getting into the manufacturing business, using all of our recycled materials and our knowledge of tube amplifier circuits. So, fast forward several years, now we have added several more models. One made from old road signs that I got from a recycling facility, another made from wood from old organs, and another also made from scientific equipment cases and old signs and organ amplifiers. Now we have 4 amp models, and the last thing standing in our way of really reusing everything from these old unwanted organs was the key beds, the keyboards themselves. How do we find a use for these old key beds? And that's when Rob came into the picture, our young engineer, and I tasked him with the project of how do we turn these old, beautiful, wonderfully manufactured key beds into MIDI controllers and really complete the cycle and have found a use for just about everything. And now Rob, after several years of research and development and pain and struggle, both for myself financially and for everybody else, and struggling to get these products to actually work, we finally have gotten our MIDI controller to work, and now it's starting to get out there in the world along with our guitar amplifiers and speaker cabinets. always been fascinated in our culture with what we see as garbage and what we see as useful materials. Part of what gives me great inspiration with our products is trying to find those things that have been discarded by our society that can be given a new form, a new function, a new utility, a new opportunity to go back out into the world and become useful and to become cherished items again. And to me, I find endless inspiration. I look around our world and I'm constantly seeing things that I could use to fabricate or create or do something with. And that's really the backbone of my whole design aesthetic, my ideas, is garbage and recycling and reuse.